Goldilocks games. That's what we're focusing on today, are my Goldilocks games. These are my games which are just right in hitting that balance between theme, gameplay, and length. Not too involved you can't play it when you're a bit tired at the end of the board game night, but not too simple that you can't think about your strategy for next time on the way home. Here they are, my Goldilocks games. Coming in at number 50, Vikings. An economic, nautical, territory building, auction bidding, tile placement game. Now, this is a terrific game. My one complaint with this game is I haven't played it enough. My one complaint with any game that's on this list. The resources consist of coins and several types of ship tiles, island tiles, and meeples, special Viking meeples or veeples. In each of 6 rounds, a random set of 12 tiles and 12 meeples becomes available. Players take turns buying and placing meeples and tiles. There's no direct player interaction if that's what you're looking for, only direct contention for resources during the buying phase. Now, the Vikings theme is pretty thin. Even Board Game Geek admits, quote, despite the nominal Viking theme, no actual exploration or pillaging is involved. However, the Veeples do wear your classic horned Viking helmets, even though modern historians say Viking helmets probably didn't have horns. The components, the art, are all terrific, and you'll always enjoy Vikings. Now, let's move on to my number 49, transporting from the Viking North down to South America for the exploration adventure game Tobago. Chests full of gold are buried in the jungle. Rumors have it that one of them is hidden next to a hut near the island's largest mountain, whereas another is hidden where the roar of an untamed river can be heard, it is said. You drive through the jungle, and you'll race against time and the other players. Each player contributes valuable clues which determine where these treasures are located. The excitement mounts as the adventurers strive to be the first to arrive at the treasure sites. The best part of the game are the kind of Easter Island head components that point your way to victory. Fantastically made, just beautiful. It transports you to the mythic jungle world that it wants to take you to, Tobago. Okay, now number 48. Many games are about some sort of conflict or warfare. Many games are about exploration, like the last 2 we discussed. But how many games are about trying to grow a garden while contending with a mischievous panda? Well, not enough, frankly. Though the market could probably only bear so many such games. Get it? Bear? Huh? Anyway. The goal of Taki was to get the most points by accomplishing various objectives, either related to growing bamboo, having the panda eat bamboo, or growing out the garden itself. The components are delightful and colorful, leaving you with a picturesque map once you've finished. I play this game a lot on Board Game Arena, so hopefully we can play a match together sometime. Now, when you teach it to someone in person, one of the things I really like about it is it's like a next level of gateway game, because the tiles are hexes that look a lot like Settlers components. So if someone's already played Settlers, this is a good game to teach them because it feels familiar, if that's the only other Euro-style game they played. Now, I've sadly not yet played with the expansion, but it's absolutely on my list as we explore the realm of the Takanoko. All right, 47. Oh, this game. I love this game. Imperial Settlers. I first played it at Board Game Geek Con in 2014 and was immediately smitten. It feeds into my long dormant customizable card game addiction without triggering a relapse. The idea is that you take control of an ancient power and build up your empire in the quest to dominate. The artwork features adorable little imperialists, which is kind of odd given the context, but I still like it, and components for gold and wood and other not unusual board game resources. Now, the big thing here is the odd name, which was already kind of taken. Making a game called Imperial Settlers is like creating a word game called Verbal Scrabble, or an economic game called Financial Monopoly. Maybe we also need a card game called Chromatic Uno, and a war game called Extreme Battleship. I'm joking, of course. But I will insist that if we meet up at this year's Board Game Geek Con, that we will try out my new children's game called Imperial Candyland. Anyway, my number 47, a fantastic card game, resource management game, Imperial Settlers. Alrighty now. Number 46. Here it is. The Forbidden Desert. Gear up for a thrilling adventure to recover a legendary flying machine buried deep in the ruins of an ancient desert city. That is the adventure we are on here with Forbidden Desert. In this thematic sequel to Forbidden Island, you and your teammates take on the roles of brave adventurers who must throw caution to the wind in order to recover a legendary flying machine buried under an ancient desert city. While the cooperative gameplay isn't unusual, Forbidden Desert does feature innovative mechanics such as an ever-shifting board, individual resource management, and a unique method for locating the flying machine parts. By the end, when you've constructed the flying machine, you'll find it a satisfying and thrilling conclusion to the game, unless you have already perished in the Forbidden Desert. Now, number 45, a charming dice game, which may have been forgotten in this post-King of Tokyo world of ours, Dice Town. Dice Town begs you to remember it as a seminal Wild West poker-style game. Now, the way it works, each player gets a cup with 5 poker dice and $8. Each turn, a player will put together a poker hand, depending on the roll, take control of the various key places in the dice town that will allow them to perform the corresponding action of the location. So there's a bluffing element to it, there's kind of a push your luck element to it. It's in terms of the re-rolls of the dice to see if you get the combination you need. Now, one of the clever mechanics is if you don't win anything in the roll-off, you get to go to Dock Bad Luck and collect a consolation prize. I like that mechanic so much, I think Dock Bad Luck should be a shorthand for any comparable idea in a different game. In fact, I think that we should make our own game called Dock Bad Luck. Components are great, the artwork is fun, the gameplay is fast, and the theme is terrific, especially when you rob the stagecoach. Just remember to keep your shooting iron handy in Dice Town. Alright, number 44. Superhero card game, Sentinels of the Multiverse. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with Sentinels. On the one hand, I love it. On the other hand, I hate that it doesn't have the DC or Marvel IP attached to it. Sentinels plays quickly, as everyone has a hand of cards pertaining to a specific superhero. Cooperatively, you take down the villain, though I have found that if you're playing with a lot of people, it's not terrible to dedicate one person to running the bad guys in the locations, because that just simplifies everything and speeds up the gameplay, if there's somebody who's willing to do that. My favorite heroes are Legacy, Superman Captain America pastiche, and then Chrono Ranger, who is a time-traveling cowboy from the future, because of course he is. That is my number 44 wonderful superhero card game, Sentinels of the Multiverse. Alrighty, number 43. Oh man, each of these games, so good, so fantastic. This is Coliseum. Coliseum, each player is a Roman impresario, producing great spectacles in the arena to attract the most spectators. Players earn wealth and glory for each event run, using it to create ever more ambitious events. As a player, you improve your arena, find the best performers, lure the emperor and other nobles, and manage assets to win the title of Grand Impresario, where tales of your amazement and grandiosity extend forever. Because what we do in the Coliseum echoes in eternity.
What we do in life echoes in eternity.
Okay, not really, but I hadn't put a movie clip in one of these for a long time, so you have to indulge me. Now, I was first introduced to this game last year at the bi-weekly meetup of the Secret Cabal in York, Pennsylvania, where some awesome dudes taught me the game. My one complaint about it is that I haven't been able to play it since then, but when I do, I will win the Coliseum. And I promise I will be entertained.
Are you not entertained?
Alright, for number 42, let's return to the South American jungle, this time in search of the greatest of life's treasures and our dark master, the cocoa bean, with Cacao.
Oh, you may stray, but you'll always return to your dark master, the cocoa bean.
Okay, sorry about that again. Anyway, Cacao is a tile-laying game not dissimilar in appearance or feel to Carcassonne, where you explore the jungle earning various points for your discoveries, be they hidden temples or villages, or even just precious, precious water. It's fast but thoughtful, simple but engaging. You could say Cacao is just right, and very much like the chocolate, the cocoa bean, it is highly addictive. Alrighty, finishing up our Goldilocks list, we have Belfort, a worker placement fantasy game where elves, gnomes, and dwarves live in harmony to build up the best city, with area majority scoring in each district, as well as for each type of worker. Buildings give you influence in the district as well as income, but there's an interesting mechanic to fight the rich get richer phenomenon where taxes increased based on your score, so the winning players will have to pay more than those behind. Manage your resources and gold well, choose your buildings wisely, and help build the city of Belfort. The art is very whimsical and supports the theme of the game extremely well. The city you're building up is a pentagon, which is an unusual shape in our board gaming community, and it's the only board game in existence where I don't mind that the victory point track actually goes along the edge, because it's like the city wall and because it plays into that taxation mechanic. Also, if Imperial Settlers could have had a more clever name, then this one has the best title of any expansion ever, namely Belfort, the expansion. Okay, there we go. There are our Goldilocks games, number 50 to 41. Next week, we will have our Yeah, I Could See That games, where these are my games where when I say that they're on my top 100 list, any of you who are familiar with me and familiar with the kind of games I talk about on Board Game Breakfast, you look at it and say, yeah, I can see that. So these are all fantastic, though. We keep getting better and better week in, week out. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll see you out there.